So it's been touted as the mother of all deals, the India-EU FTA. It's about promoting free trade. It also comes at a time when we're seeing rising trade protectionism, the issue of tariffs, but it's also coming at a time of great geopolitical churn around the world. So India and Europe, 2 billion people coming together to create such a huge free trade agreement is something that the whole world will sit up and take notice. And who better to talk to about that and a gamut of issues covering India and Europe? I'm now joined by a very, very special guest here on the CNN News18 network, Antonio Costa. His Excellency is the President of the European Council. Thank you for this interview and welcome to India.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you and the CNN and in India.
You were the chief guest today at the Republic Day parade. How was it taking all of the colors and sounds and sights of India at the parade today?
Of course, it's a great honor for me and President von der Leyen to be the chief guest of the Republic Day. It's a great honor for the European Union, and as you can imagine, as a person of Indian origin, it's for me a special pleasure.
Tell us a little bit more about that, your Indian connection, your family's Indian connection.
Yes, all my father's family are Indian. My father grew up in Goa, and he only goes to Portugal with 18 years old. And I'm lucky because he went to Portugal. If not, I was not here.
Yeah. So when you come back to India, and obviously you've come to India, in the past as well, but how was this trip different and viewing the parade? I saw a lot of clips today. The Prime Minister, I think, was trying to sort of explain what was going on in the parade to you and to Ms. von der Leyen.
Now, this parade is very impressive because it's not only a military parade. It's not only a parade to show the impressive India military capabilities, but also to show how culturally India is diverse and how proud India is on this diversity. And this idea of union on diversity, it's very important. It's a great inspiration, especially for us, because we are also a union with 27 different member states, speaking 24 languages, and we are not a federal state. Then, for us, I think it's very important to see how the largest democracy in the world could preserve their diversity and works as a democracy.
So let's talk about, the big headline is going to be tomorrow when the India-EU summit happens, the 16th summit. The India-EU FTA is expected to be concluded and signed. What can you tell us about that?
Well, first of all, we are crossing fingers to conclude the negotiations of the FTA. It will be very important, both for EU and India. It will be the largest free trade agreement in the world. 2 billion people is the largest trade agreement ever signed by India or the European Union. Then I hope that today we achieve to conclude in the proper way this agreement. On the other side, we have other agreements. One very important on security and defense, and the third one on mobility. These, I think, there are three big achievements from this summit.
So it comes at a time when there's a lot of trade protectionism, tariffs are being used almost like a weapon. So tomorrow when you sign the agreement, the FTA, what signal does it send to global capitals around the world?
I think it's a very strong and important message to the world. That means that EU and India believes more on the trade agreements than to tariffs. Then we believe that free trade boosts economy, create jobs, and promote prosperity. And this is what we want, to have shared prosperity. And that's why this agreement comes in the most important moment, perhaps. Comes later, but in the right moment, because now more than ever it's important to show how it's important. The European Union is now engaged around the world. We have already 78 trade agreements, and we are increasing our efforts to conclude new trade agreements. last week we signed with the Mercosur, very important trade agreement. Now we are, I hope, concluding the political negotiations tomorrow with India, and we have already signed with Mexico, with Indonesia, and we continue to negotiate with different countries like Thailand, Emirates, United Arabs, then a lot of.
But particularly with India, because it's such a huge market, 1 billion people. Again, what is it that you hope the world takes away from this free trade agreement?
First, this trade agreement is very important to boost our economies, but it's also a very important geopolitical stabilizer, because now the world is challenging by protectionism, by the rise of tariffs, and then it's important to give to the world this message that these two largest economies, these two largest democracies in the world, we are upholding the rules-based trade order. And this is very important for the economy, because economy is very important, the predictability. The companies cannot work if they don't have predictability, and if they are always changing the rules, always changing the tariffs, always under threats of increased tariffs. This is very bad for economy. Then we need to create predictability, and is what we are provider to the European and to Indian companies, to businesses, is to provide predictability in our relationship.
Mr. President, I don't want to get too much into the details of it, but there are two areas that were of concern to Indian companies. One is this carbon tax, carbon border adjusted mechanism. So how is that getting resolved? I also want to ask you in terms of, which are the industries you see from the Indian side which will be able to export much more to Europe, and vice versa, which European industries you reckon will find this as a great opportunity to export to India?
Yes, this is the great chance for the Indian and for European companies to export more for our markets. The carbon mechanism
tax
is a mechanism to give an incentive to accelerate the transition, the energetic transition, and to reach our common goal and our common commitment to the Paris Agreement. And India is a key country and a very like-minded partner, and really committed with the Paris Agreement. And what we are doing with India is also cooperate on this energy transition. Of course, it's challenging in the country like India, of course, but we are working very well, very close to improve and to develop renewable energies and non-carbon energies sources. And today in the parade, one of the tableaus was precisely about renewable energy. And this is a great sign from India, because look, India is a country, I think, with the fourth reserve on coal. Coal remains a very important source of energy in India.
Correct.
And even so, India is saying, okay, we are the fourth reserve of coal in the world. We are the largest users of coal in the world, but we are committed with the Paris Agreement to make this transition. It's a great lesson for all the countries in the world, that even to having a very important natural resource are committed to change for the world good, because it's good for the world, it's necessary for the world to stop the climate change.
I want to talk about the other agreement you mentioned about the defense partnership. What does the defense partnership and security partnership, which you're hoping to sign with India, mean at a time when we're seeing rising tensions, particularly in the Indo-Pacific? India has concerns about the rules-based order being changed unilaterally by some countries. So what do you hope to achieve with this security and defense partnership?
Well, this security and defense agreement is also very important from economic point of view, because this creates the possibility for the Indian companies enter in our safe and industrial defense programs. This is very important for Europe, because as you know, we are making a huge effort to increase our defense capabilities and then to cooperate with the Indian companies is very important for us. I think it's important for in the economies. Then this is one of dimensions, but the other dimension is because our cooperation will be focused mainly on maritime security. Mm-hmm. And this is very important for us and for India and for trade, because a large part of this trade needs the safe maritime lines working with shipping lines. And the reason, and if you, I don't know if you took note, but in the parade today, the European Union was represented by two of our most important missions, the Aspids and the Atalanta. Mm-hmm. One in the Red Sea, and the other because it's critical for the trade between the Indian Ocean and the Mediterranean. And the other one in the Mediterranean. Then it's to ensure that we have conditions to respect and to assure and to protect the free trade by maritime safe shipping lanes.
I also want to talk a little bit about, we talked about rising trade protectionism and tariffs and all that. We're just coming off the Davos World Economic Forum. I'm sure you heard President Trump's speech. He's said that he wants to get Greenland. What does this mean for Europe at a time such as this, when you're already facing a war, which has been going on for almost 4 years now, and now you have a friend and partner and major ally in NATO saying that he wants Greenland?
Well, as you know, Europe and the European Union is a stronger supporter of the principles of United Nations Charter. Sovereignty, territorial integrity, the respect of the international recognized borders, and sovereignty. And that's why we are supporting so strongly Ukraine since day one. Correct. Because we cannot allow, the international community cannot allow that any state, especially a permanent member of the Security Council, to disrespect the United Nations Charter and using the force to try to occupy a part of the territory of a neighbor. And of course, if we are upholding the United Nations Charter to defend other countries, for main reasons we use and we need to uphold the United Nations Charter to protect our member states. And Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and only the Kingdom of Denmark and Greenland can decide about their future. Then for us, the sovereignty of the Kingdom of Denmark and the territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark is not under discussion, is not under negotiation, and we are fully supporting Denmark and Greenland to protect their own territory.
But do you believe this issue might be a big divide between America and its partners in Europe?
No, as you said, we are allies, mm-hmm. We are partners, and you used to be friends, and you want to continue to be friends, partners, and allies. Then we understand that the security of the Arctic region is a concern, and this concern, the right place to address this concern is of course NATO, because NATO is precisely an alliance where all the members have the common, the reciprocal commitment to support the defense of all the territory of NATO. And Greenland is a part of the territory of NATO. The Kingdom of Denmark is very open to negotiate, namely with the United States, the better use of the natural resources of Greenland. And but of course, if all of this is about territorial expansion, then sorry, we cannot agree.
So my last couple of questions. You talked about the Ukraine war. How do you see that resolving? Is it going to, there have been sort of efforts that have been made to get a ceasefire or a peace agreement, but Russia doesn't seem to be coming on board. Russia is continuing with its military campaign. How do you see that war getting settled?
Now it's the reason because we need to continue to support Ukraine, and we need to put Russia under pressure to accept the ceasefire and the peace negotiations and the peace agreement to achieve a just and lasting peace in Ukraine. We are supporting all peace efforts, namely the peace efforts led by President Trump, and we wish all the best for this. But what we are seeing is, once again, Russia is refusing to accept a peace agreement, and this is dramatically. It is dramatically from the humanitarian point of view. Thousands of people dying every month. It's dramatic for the Ukrainian people, especially now during the winter, because Russia is targeting especially the energy facilities to put the civilian and the people suffering during the winter, very cold this winter in the Ukraine. Then is a very humanitarian war, terrible war, and we need to put an end of this as soon as possible and to achieve a just and lasting peace. And then I think it's very important that all the international community understand that this is not only about Ukraine. This is about our security as a world, because sovereignty, territorial integrity, not only applies to Ukraine, applies also to India, applies also to South Africa, apply also to Latin America. Then is something that we need to take care and to protect the United Nations Charter. Okay. Because if you believe that you can give up in Ukraine, we will give up everywhere.
I want to get one final question. You were at the parade today. I saw some clips of the Prime Minister explaining things to you. How do you see his leadership, his sort of guiding of India over the last 10 years that he's been Prime Minister, India's place in the world? He'll be signing the FTA. Just a word on the personal connect with Prime Minister Modi.
The personal connect is very good. I visited him when I was Prime Minister. I welcomed him in Portugal. When in the same period, and his leadership is very impressive. I think next year he become the longest serving as Prime Minister. I think is already the same time that Pandita Nehru, and next year he will become the first one. I think it's very impressive.
Okay, Mr. President, thank you very much for joining us on CNN News 18. Okay. Thank you so much.